Hello, welcome to my show. My name's Patrick, and I'm a dowser, and I also do divinations and dream interpretations and things of that nature. Couple years ago, I did a toothpaste dowsing, and I just wanted to do an update because it's about another topic that it's going to lead to that I'm going to talk about. But first, I wanted to I got a couple brands here. So I got Crest, Desert Essence, Bart Bees, and baking soda. So can you predict which one has the highest vibration, which one has the lowest vibration? And it's we'll do it real quick. I'm not here to belabor the point, but let's start with Crest. All right, Crest. Am I connected? Thank you. Let's go right to it. Let's not see how fast I do it. Pretty quick. I'm pretty much always on. Okay, Crest, 1.5 stars. Totally toxic. So anything under 4 stars is not acceptable. And as you move away from 4, you go down to 3, 2, 1. It becomes higher toxicity. So 1.5 is really toxic. It'll go through your mucous membranes and your gums, and you're gonna probably get sick in a year or two, in a couple years, you'll get sick. And there's a lot of other things that can kill you, so you don't want it to be the toothpaste, you know. Yes. So here's this essence. I bought this yesterday. I went to a health food store and bought this one. I just want to try different things. This is Desert Essence tea tree oil with mint, no fluoride and no gluten. Well, that's I don't know why they would say that. Anyway, could you give me this, please? And you can see it's about, it goes right up. Is that over 5? Yes. Could you give me the exact 5.4? This is 5.4. This is not only acceptable, pretty decent territory. All right, 5.4. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. And this one is, yep, it's 5.4. What do you think, Bart Bees? What do you think of that company? Fluoride free. And they actually sell toothpaste and in big letters with fluoride, like it's a sales pitch. You don't want fluoride. It's just too toxic for your internal blood. But the science of America say it's fine, all right? So academia says go ahead and do it. Anyway, this is called Bart Bees, purely white. And can you give it to me, please? It's a 1. Is that less than 1? Yes. Okay, give me the exact 0.8. 0.8. This is extremely toxic for, gosh, it's something like, it's called Zen peppermint. You see the labeling makes nothing. Bart is supposed to be a hippie thing, you know, like really groovy, healthy for you. This is totally toxic. This is worse than Crest. And I expect this out of Crest. This is more toxic than Crest. Now, this company was bought out by a big company, all right? And that's the topic I want to discuss. Many of these hippie organic companies that were created in the last 20, 30 years were bought out by really big companies, including Blue Buffalo, my favorite company, and they were bought out in February. So the question is, does this affect the product later on? And I'm going to do something maybe after this. I have to go douse them really quick. And in Bart Bees, I don't know if Bart's was this bad to begin with. You know, usually they make that lip balm you always see in the stores, you know, and it's some guy living out in the woods. And being this toxic, how much of this toxicity is conscious choice of the company? Okay, how much? It's 95%. So this was done on purpose. This was a conscious choice of the owners to make a toxic product and put on it you know, like we're organic. It's very sad, but that's where we live. You're better off with cress, and cress is very, very bad, all right? And then we go to, what do you think? So this is Arm & Hammer. Arm & Hammer probably itself is low. Yeah, see? The company is like a 1-star, very bad. But let's look at baking soda. Baking soda, please. And the baking soda is this is for brushing, oral hygiene, 8.8. And we can double check this by doing a completely different. Okay. Could you give me Bert, please? Could you give me Bert? Bert, the frequency of Bert. There you go. There's a under hat. Look at that. Could you give me baking soda? Baking soda. And this is for oral hygiene. This is roughly 8.5, I would say. And it matches the pendulum. Both say that. So there we go. We're finding, I forget what I said for Essence Desert. It's 5, right? 5.5. Fluoride free. You know, that's acceptable. I'm going to use it. But as you see, you can probably put your own kind of paste thing together. Maybe coconut oil or peppermint and with essence, and put it in the baking soda, and you come up with some kind of paste. I should go in that direction, but I've been really busy. I think Representative Nadler is starting a new investigation into anti-Semitism and white supremacy. And they're using the word national white supremacy or something. And that's just to really crank up for television on CNN every night, get quotes about how bad certain races are. And it's going to be really bad. They're going to do this all the way to the election. And I had that in my dream. I was walking through a little town in the East Coast somewhere, and I went to, I don't know how to explain it, but I went to like a 7-Eleven or something, and the different races there, things were tense between them. Like some people were looking for an excuse to start a fight. And this is just, and then I got the gist. I go, oh, your everyday occurrence. You got to be aware. A lot of people are going to take this to heart, all this ratcheting up, the friction between the races, and it's really not there. I mean, you go back 5 or 10 years, and everybody's getting along fine. Now it's just really cranking it up, and this is to not only to maintain power, to increase power, mostly by the left, mostly by social media scores, where they're going to measure us if we're socially acceptable. So in China right now, 2.5 million people cannot get an airplane ticket because they're deemed socially unacceptable on their social media score, you know, through their facial recognition. They go, oh, you go to these websites, that's pretty much it. What websites do you go to? That will determine it. And if you go to, like my site, no one goes to my site. Actually, I've been being shadow banned, and so some other smaller sites. And you wonder why they're wasting their time on the smaller sites. And then I asked, well, how much would I get if, let's say, so I'm getting like, I don't ever go over 200 anymore. It's like they got me stuck at 100, 150, and I just disappear to the ethers, and so does everyone else. If you speak certain topics, and you already know this, other sites are gone. And then other sites, how do they get 200,000 and they're still talking like this? Because they're it's called control opposition. And they even get banned occasionally, but they still get their 200,000, and it's because they know where the red line is. There's a red line, and they won't go there, and they work for certain. Now this is, we're beating a dead horse here, but the CIA and NSA, they have a lot of fake sites up, and they hire these people. It's a job, and they just do websites. You know, they just do YouTube presentation, and they sound like they're opposition, but it's purely a psyops operation. Google is purely 100% a government operation. That's what everybody doesn't get. And who's the other one? The guy from Tesla. He's 100% a government operation. You know, and they make them wealthy and things, but it's not their money, it's not their product. The product and decisions on how it's run are government. Amazon used to be, Bezos used to do his books. Remember when he started off selling books? Then he started getting bigger. That's pretty much his. You know, that's his operation. And then he started going off into rockets and artificial intelligence and cloud. You know, the big cloud contract is still going on. Trump doesn't want him to have it. But they wrote the specs. He's the only one qualified. The reason he's the only one qualified is that aspect of his operation is all government. How much, show me Bezos' control, how much does he control of his whole Amazon operation? He controls 55%. Do you see that? 55. How much does he control? Now this is a question just came to my head. How much does he control of the Amazon cloud? How much does he control of the cloud? He's like at 20%. The rest is government. It's all intelligence agencies. The intelligence agencies, you know, all that .com bust in the late 90s, those were all intelligence. It was easy. They used the public money. They find out what technologies work, and then the rest go bankrupt. They didn't lose anything. It was like a big joke on the American people. And at the end of the day, who do they work for? That's the key. Now, I found that the head of the CIA, the new gal, Trump and her are on the same page. So it'll be interesting to see how she goes forward and does her job. And she came up through the ranks, so she knows a lot of the nitty-gritty of the operations. But it's so big, you know, something like the CIA and all the intelligence agencies. Just the CIA, they think it's a couple million people work there. Well, that's just like, how do you know what's being done? You don't. There's no accountability. And I think I doused there was like, let's do it again. How many departments are there? Major, clear-cut department. When you're looking from the top, how many departments have all the power? I always got 7. Yeah, it's 7. So there's like 7 sub-CIAs. And that's how the director of the CIA looks at it to operate it. And then there's someone on top of that. And they all do different things. The CIA has been trying to catch up to the NSA in technology. And because they were usually a human type thing. And that's what Snowden was. Snowden was the limited hangout. He was a CIA operative. He went over to the NSA, and then he dumped all the NSA information onto the internet to discredit the NSA and to get more money for the CIA communications and technologies, that sort of thing. And they're trying to catch up. And that's who Snowden is. And that's why Snowden, did he do what he did as a patriot? No. It's 1 star. Did Assange do it as a patriot of freedom? Assange is like a 5.5, 6. So he had other reasons to do it too. But 5.5, that's better than like half a star for Snowden. So what is Snowden? Who is he? Why is he so low? Well, he's not serving us. He's not serving the American people. And that's what I'm always looking at. Does it serve the American people? So when I go through this, I'm going to leave Bart. The reason I did this, I go, well, Bart, why did you do this, Bart? Why are you making such... When I go through the products, here. So everything, watch this. Okay, rate the glycerin in here. Number 1 product, okay, below a star, half a star. Could you show me the quality of the water? 2, 1.5 stars. So that means they're taking it out of some big city municipal water source. That's what they're doing. And they're not even filtering it, not even cleaning it, nothing. They just throw it in there. Hydrated silica. Hydrated silica. This is the biggest, highest frequency, and it's 3.5. Sodium glutamate. That's, gosh, does it 0.1 of a star? This stuff is really, really bad. How about the xanthan gum? Oh, that's 2. So these are just the water. The water is just a basic product, and it's bad. It's dirty water. Everything's dirty. Everything's tainted. And this will make you sick. Don't eat it. And it's like the dog food. You know, when I first did the dog food, some nice lady, she wrote in, and I told her, I said, Walmart's Old Roy is totally toxic because it's basically corn. It's corn food. So you're feeding your dog this cornmeal, which is genetically modified on top of that. So dogs can't eat corn. It's really bad for them. It's toxic. But this is genetically modified corn on top of that, and it's the dog food Walmart sells, Old Roy, is half a star. And her dog lasted 18 months, and she loved the dog. And she knew, she goes, I know it was Old Roy. Now she knows she can get a decent dog food. That's the key to dogs not going to the vet. You got to get a high vibration dog. You got to have the high vibration toothpaste, you know. And it's things like, so many of these people, they're writing the word organic and nobody is monitoring it. The dog food organic is garbage. This is a broad base, but it's sort of true there. I have to go through all the organic and pick them out because some are legitimately organic. But like Paul Newman, his Newman's Own brand, when he was alive, it was decent dog food. It was okay. Now it's pretty bad. And he handed the company over to this guy that the family's fighting. So the family's fighting to get rid of this guy who's like the executor. And he made all this crummy food. He was ruining Newman's Own. I haven't checked the other brands under the thing, but if he's wrecking the dog food, what is he doing to the other stuff? What's the other one? I'm getting a little rant on the organic stuff because I think we're being, when they go like this, Bart, you know, they go, this one's not, oh, Zen, it's Zen. Anytime somebody says organic, make sure it's organic. And I don't think it's good that Bezos bought Whole Foods because he's going to eventually lower the vibration of all those organic products in time. He is so cost conscious. Now, the whole internet business, I should do a whole video on this, but I have the whole internet in the United States is going to go down. You know, down, down, down. And I'm talking about the average mean usage per person. So this is a theoretical thing, sort of like, so here's the average mean, it's here. And then I go, okay, give me 2 years or something, and it's like here. It's like half. And give me 10 years, it's like, it's gone. So I don't know why. I don't know why. I can pursue it. It could be, I don't know about the rest of the world, but for the United States, it could be there's too many Chinese electronics involved in the internet, the computers, the mobile phones. Everything is being tapped. So not only is our government tapping us and listening to us through our TV, through our mobiles, it's all automated, it's all going to the artificial intelligence. Other governments are. The Chinese are doing it. And that has a lot to do with Trump is keeping it simple. He's saying it's just about espionage for Huawei. Is that how you pronounce it? Huawei. So that's very exciting. I think it's funny that now baking soda for me is a little harsh on my teeth, but it's totally it's a simple product. It's bicarbonate soda. That's your ingredient. It's simple. I don't think you can mess it up. Yeah. That's it, 100%. So it's really, really high. I think if you could put some mint oil on it and stuff, if you guys got recipes, put them on there. That high vibration. And I know a lot more, and I wanted to finish off saying the Nadler, he started hearings, like I said at the very beginning. So what I'm going to do is, you know, my spray bottle, and I put the label on it of Christ, conscious Christ prayers. I got in Aramaic the Our Father. I put that sticker on, and it increases, and I make holy water. With that holy water, I use that as a quick smudge. You know, instead of using a smudge stick of sage, I use my holy water, and it does. Try to use clean water if you can. And then what you do is you say the prayer on the spray bottle, then you go around the house and you spray it. You can also, please do this one for sure, get a picture of Trump and his family at the White House and have it so you can click on it and it expands, and just spray the water and bless them with a rag on your screen. Yeah, the water's probably not good for your screen on your computer, but I'm not going to worry about it. You guys got to make that decision. I do it all the time. I don't listen to a lot of stuff. And I get the rag and I bless them. And then I say the Our Father. And I go, you know, and whatever you want to use. I use Christ Michael, bless and protect his family, and protect him from evil, and wipe away, and I'm wiping. And I go, wipe away all negativity around and protect them. I've done this in the house. And a friend of mine who stayed at the house, one night he goes, all these demons were trying to get into the house, but they couldn't get in. It's the spray bottle. We smudged it, and they can't get in. They're attacking through their black arts. And those days are numbered. We're going through the proton belt. What is it? The photon belt. Proton belt. That's Barbara Messiniak. Have you heard of her? She's on. Go look at one of hers. She talks about this as well. Everybody's talking about it. I mean, we all use different vocabulary, but we all measure it. From the gifts we were given, we can measure the changes. And that's what everybody's doing. People who read tarot, they're bringing their gifts to measure the changes. You know, she's a channeler, and I don't know, she talks, she gives videos once in a while. You might want it. She does something with the Palladians. But I have, it's going down. Some people said the battle in the heavens is already over. It takes longer to get down here to sort itself out. And the people, the entities that have been running Earth for the last few thousand years, you know, the Anu and the Anunnaki, Anu, they've been told to leave. And so that whole rulership is gone. So all their minions are running around they're like chickens with their head cut off. They're running around. They have no head. They don't know what to do. And they're trying to keep the old system going. But things like Goldman Sachs, the Federal Reserve, and all these things on pornography, on public TV, all these bad movies they're putting out filled with subliminals. Newspaper, like if you open up Vogue magazine, you open it up, they have sigils. They're like figures, entities, stick figures. They're moving. You can't see it. It's an actually movement. They've been embedded in there through black magic ceremonies. It's part of it. It's in the pop music. That's why the kids don't think straight. That's why they can't think for themselves. Everything's embedded with subliminals. And it shows you the whole thing about hypnosis. And I took a hypnosis, I was certified hypnotherapy clinical many years ago, and I never really used it other than it was a teaching device for myself to understand how academia and psychologists and things, how they see the human structure. And it's really important. And I would almost recommend it for a lot of people, because if you do have blockages, it can find it. Because if something traumatic happened to you when you're very young, if you go to hypnosis, it can find it for you. And just the mere fact that you're aware of it really releases a lot of energy and can fix certain behavioral patterns that you developed later in life to cover that up. that pain, you know. We don't want pain, so we create things so we don't see it, feel it. But it bubbles up, and we do things that aren't really rational because it's part of that deep-seated issue when we were young. Sometimes it's just the perception of a young boy, young girl, you know. They're misreading something, and it's a hurt. So hypnosis has those good parts. It can be a very good healing tool, you know, and it can help us focus on our goals and things. But mostly, you know, 90% of it's used against us, against the people. And that's what you get in television and the music, the magazines. Why are they putting black magic in the advertising in magazines or in the stories? Or why, when you know this story, I said, I was looking at a movie. This is 2001, right? 2001. I was on the internet, very slow clunker then, you remember that? And I went, what were the movies? I haven't been to a movie in 25 years. But I was looking for movies at that time. And for some reason, I kind of went into a little state of consciousness where I could see the subliminals on the internet. And in this particular was Microsoft, and they had what movies were on in my town. You know, and I go, okay, 7, or you can buy a ticket. That was a big thing. And I could see all the words that were embedded, and it was all fear-based words, like genocide, rape, murder, on and on and on. And it was about 20 words, like, you know, 5 across, 5 down, and they were shimmering. It was shimmering. I could see it was moving, and it moves because that way the conscious eye can't see it. So if you don't go into that state of awareness, you can't see that. You're just looking, what movie is tonight? And then I remember I just ate. I had a lot of food, so it wasn't like I was fasting or anything. I had a big Mexican dinner, and I was sitting there, and there it was. Spirit showed it to me. It wanted to say that these techniques are totally across the spectrum of our culture. They're doing all this evil, and the subliminals, they're using all this knowledge they got. And my final example would be looking at the insurance ads on TV. You ever see them? I'm not sure. Yeah, like Geico, Progressive, and it goes on and on. I don't know. Insurance industries must support the whole television network, but you notice how stupid they are. That's hypnosis. So you're going, well, how stupid are these? No, they don't care. You don't understand. The whole thing is one big black magic ceremony. The whole stupid, and some of this is, it's like an oxymoron. You go, A plus B equals, supposed to be C. But they go, in your rational mind going, A plus B equals Z. It's something else. You notice how they do that. It's always, that's hypnosis. That's all hypnosis techniques. And the whole thing is really incredible. And part of it is too, when you use cartoons or cartoon-like characters, like a lot of those characters are like, you know, I'm thinking the General, you remember? And they put Shaq O'Neal is in the car and getting General Insurance, and he's a cartoon, and he's not. And it looks like the whole ad is cheaply done, and it's worth tens of millions of dollars they've studied on this to get you A, to buy their insurance, and B, to sell a cultural attribute. You know, like you can see them on TV, like kids becoming sexually aware at very, very young age, which in Enoch says you guys are toast. You're with the fallen angels. I just wanted to say that. There's no reprieve for you. You can't go to God and ask for forgiveness. There's certain things you can't. If you're working with the fallen angels, you know, they did that in Enoch. They went to him, you remember? They went to him and say, hey, could you go to God? And if they were trying to cut a deal, and he goes, no, because you guys knew that you were smart enough to know. You had spiritual knowledge, and you still went off to try to create an alternative to what was supposed to be done. And people go, oh, God must have been involved with the fallen angels. Not necessarily. I don't buy that. I think something got into the system, and they went and created another alternative, and it has to do with, you know, we're so low in the totem pole of higher dimensions. You got to realize, we're way down here, and I think there's at least one more below us of consciousness, and people have tapped into it. Intuitive is like what it is. It's like they don't live long, and the whole thing is conniving, backstabbing stuff. And anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I think you got to realize that the whole culture's been taken over, and that's why you say your prayers. It's all an invisible war, and it'll help filter it some, the effect on you. So at least you can make decisions for yourself and not be ruled by this invisible culture. And they're going to rack it up. They're going to ratchet it all up, so we all start fighting. And this whole year is going to be like this. All right? And then I talk about Trump later. My thing is, I don't know what he's going to do. It's going to be his decision. I think he feels that if he doesn't have confidence in someone taking over from him who can win re-election or an election, he'll stay in the race all the way, all the way through. But I think also there's such tremendous changes coming, and he's getting older and he's tired. This is a big battle, and he's done it. And I think there's a part of him thinks a lot of the stakeholders into this agenda change to fight haven't really come up to the plate. Like the military and certain aspects of the intelligence agencies. They were all part of this deal, and they've been kind of wishy-washy. Well, he's already out there. He's got it in the presidency. He needs support, and that's why. Oh, my final thing. Okay, we're gonna go. So, I'm gonna get my spray bottle of my Grail and spray my holy water on the Nadler committee on white race nationalism and anti-Semitism. Show me how this is going to change the energy for truth, for divine truth to come forward. Go. Would this technique work? Yes, it goes right to 10. So do it, do it, do it. Because what we're going to do, just do it for a second. If you don't mind your monitor getting a little wet, but spray it on there, say the prayer, wipe the committee picture. Just get a photo of the committee, what Nadler is the chairman of. And we're going to spray it. Everybody has to do this. If you don't have water, just use your hand flat and just go across it and say a very high prayer. All right? If you can't think of one, use Christ Michael. Great. Use Christ Michael, use Buddha, whatever. Use Christ Michael. And divine truth. Universal truth, a very powerful word. Universal truth. Let universal truth shine. Wipe away all evil. What it's going to do is this whole committee, whole intention is evil. It's really dark. It's really dark. Show me the committee intention, please. It's Lucifer. It's zero. It's zero. The whole thing is to start race riots, to get all the races against each other. This is just a start. And this is to push the multicultural agenda, which is a zero. There's nothing good about it. The intention. The reason they started this and pushing it on the American people is they want to fracture it into 1,000 pieces so the whole psychosis of the country falls over dead and you can't move forward or backwards or nothing. It's totally evil, but it sounds good. Who's against vanilla ice cream, Hey, it's diversity, it's this. No, it's not that. It's a lie. Everything they're selling about it is a lie. And most people that are participating in it on the left, they're not spiritually woken up in the sense that it's a spiritual battle. They don't understand. This is not down here, This is a spiritual war. And that's why what I just did with our bottle, with the label, put the label on the bottle. If not, get a magic marker on a spray bottle and write a prayer on it, you know, and write some of the Psalms on it, all right? Everybody has holy water. There's a reason. Black demons, dark energy cannot live near it or on it. It's like acid to them. And they go, psst. And when we ask for the universal truth, both of those words are extremely high. Universal, believe it or not, all by itself as a word is a 10. Very high frequency. And so is truth. Universal truth. Just say, allow universal truth. You know, protect universal truth for this committee. You're not saying anything bad about the people. You're just asking, let universal truth appear. And what's going to happen is they're gonna give away their motive on TV by accident. It's not going to go the way. So if we all do this, we're saying a positive prayer for the committee, that universal truth. What more do you want? That's fair. Is going to come forth. That's fair. That's nice. And that's a spiritual request. You're not asking like a dark prayer, you know, something bad happened to people. I don't care what happens to them. I don't even want to know them. But I know their intentions, and that's the whole thing. And just use your hand, and that's it. Only takes 10 seconds. That's it. I'm going to use my spray bottle, and I'll go do it. And it's set. Did you see the 10? Big. It's going to make a big difference. Everybody's going to see it. We get a couple hundred people to do this. It's going to make a big difference. All right. Baking soda. Thank you. And next time we'll talk about who's running the planet. Bye-bye.